Welcome to Real Health with me, Karl Henry. Folks, it is one of our most popular eps that we do, the questions episode, where we pull some of our questions that we get in on Instagram. Myself and JJ, my producer, shoot the breeze in studio, and we shoot the breeze around the health and wellness tips in relation to the questions. So as ever, if you have any questions for us, hop onto my Instagram page at Karl Henry PT. Every kind of Friday or Saturday, we do a Q&A there. And I look at the most popular ones that come in, and then we put them to one side and we bring them onto the podcast, because it's nice to have a little bit of time and space to chat about them live and give them the time they deserve. JJ, how's life?
Very good. Welcome back to Ireland.
I know.
Mino.
Yes. Oh my God, what a trip. Amazing.
Feet sore?
Oh God, no. No, it was amazing. It was amazing. It's very difficult to describe, and I'm well aware that I'm rocking it. It was amazing, but actually it was really amazing. It was, it slows you down. Like, we had a group of 72 with us that was leading, so like I was worked, but like still you're in like rural Spain and you've nothing to do but walk. It's very cool.
Give me just one little bit of detail. How many kilometers, miles did you cover?
So basically, it's a big long trail. It's a couple of 100 kilometers long. We did so you do sections of it. So we did 115 kilometers over 5 days. So about 25k a day, nice. With a group age profile from kind of 16 up to late 70s. And it was just really cool. You just kind of shoot the breeze all day. And it's like there's a bit of work in it. We did a reel on Instagram for people. If you are going in the community, have a look at it. It'll tell you what to bring, what not to bring. Like, the shoes are important, your socks are important, Vaseline on your feet's important. All very important stuff to have, because your feet are under a lot of pressure, you know, and but it was great. So yeah, I'm relaxed and kind of, well, as relaxed as one can be, and we're kind of planning our next trips now, I think. But it was really cool, really
Fantastic.
Cool. So loads of questions as always.
Yes. So I'll jump into them.
Yep.
The first one is about a different type of holiday, I would expect, but it is, how do we maintain fitness after the big holiday?
Yeah, the big holiday. So we're taking that to be the crack, really, aren't we? Sitting by the pool, having the crack, more alcohol than normal, more food than normal, and just more kind of out of routine. So there's a couple of things. One is, it's how you go into the holiday, right? So a lot of people, what they do is they will go on some restrictive diet, a really hardcore training regime to feel good while they're there. That's all fine. The challenge is when you do anything restrictive and then flip it with more alcohol, more processed foods, more food, the big breakfast buffet spread, all of a sudden you're going to regain weight, and you're going to bloat, and you're going to feel not particularly healthy. So the lead in is important, right? If you do want to get in shape for the holiday, do it properly. Like, people who listen to us, they know we talk about the same stuff. It's sleep, etc. But actually, that's how you do it. It takes time. While you're over, then it is kind of planning it out, really, so that it's not a free for all for like 7 days or 10 days. You know, where you're going like crazy, you know, all day, every day, eating and drinking. It's mapping it, having denominated kind of big days or big nights out, if you like, the bigger dinners. Breakfast should be the same that you have at home. Just because you're in a hotel that has a buffet doesn't mean you do a super buffet spread and like 4 runs of it to get as much food in as possible, because there's no need for that. We eat, you know, I sound very Scrooge-like, but it is a holiday. But actually, it shouldn't change really how you eat that much. That's important. Exercise-wise, get it done early, because as the day goes on, stuff gets in the way and you're just less likely to do it. So get it done early in the day. Buddy up with someone is always good if you're going away with a few people, or have an accountability partner at home who you get. Like, we do that with our clients, right? They will send me their accountability for their holidays while they're there if they want to. And they get their sessions done, they send it over, we high five, and then they're kind of set up for the day. And so that's the key. The key bit is that it shouldn't be dramatically different while you're there. When you get home, then it's giving yourself the time to recover from the holiday. That takes, you know, there's a bit in that, and then back into rhythm and routine. And if you gain some weight, that's fine. That's normal. Like, life is, from a weight perspective, you go up and down at certain times of the year.
Right.
Like, Christmas is like that. A holiday is like that. You'd expect to gain weight unless you're doing like the Camino or something. But
how many days of buffer would you give yourself, you know, when you get back from, you know, the holiday?
In terms of jumping on scales?
Well, not just jumping on the scales, getting back into the routine, the exercise, or would you be like, okay, I'm going to get 3 nights
a couple of days, yeah, a couple of nights of sleep. Like, and even from the scales perspective, when you fly, you fill with fluid more. So like, you're always going to weigh a bit heavier. So give yourself a couple of days, jump on, whatever it is, and then just take, you know, back to normal, back into routine, back into rhythm. It's not, people do that too sometimes, where they come back from holidays, they don't feel great, and then they go into some other kind of fad, rapid diet, weight, fitness thing. Let's just not do that. Just, it's cool. Like if you put on 3-4 pounds in holiday years, well done. You've had a great holiday. That's normal. That's expected. That's what it should be. And then you give yourself 3 or 4 weeks to take that off at £1 a time. And that's the way to do it. And that's the way we would look at doing it for clients and stuff. We just take it off over time, and having that wiggle room weight wise that you allow, your 4 or 5 pound window from your normal weight to your high weight. And then when it gets to your high weight, you rein it back in and pull it back down. And I would operate like that as well. That's how it works. That's how you keep it off long term.
Perfect. And so second question, if you are just starting out exercise during the summer, how long should you do? So this is from Fiona. I find, similar for me, it's like I've been sick for a week or so, and then coming back into it, I'm so keen to, just go hell for leather. And that's probably not the best approach.
No, well, there's a couple of things. With the weather changing, so even today I was walking around earlier on, and it's full of people moving. They're out running, walking, cycling. It's great because the weather brings you out, which is lovely. So sometimes that brings people out into wanting to go too hard too soon. That increases the injury profile, which is never good. So if you are starting out from an exercise perspective, again, you ease into it. You give it time. Walking and running is fairly straightforward. Like if it's couched at 5K, you have a plan to follow, or couched at 10K, or if it's half marathon or longer, you need a plan. It can't just be like, let's just go and run. There needs to be a structure to it. If it's weights, then again, it's building it up slowly and taking it handy. Going from 1 set to 2 sets or 3 sets, or the quantity of exercises that you do, or, that's all part of just gradual build, up. And then obviously you've got some flexibility work to do too, which tends to happen in the winter. Summer months less so. People tend to go down the cardio weights route in the summer and kind of more flexibility work in the winter. You have to mind that you're getting some flexibility work done. And it's a great time to do it because the beaches are now full of yoga classes and saunas and recovery. It's as a country where we've come on in the last year, 2 years, but so much in terms of the amount of stuff that's on offer now.
Yeah.
It's a great time to start moving. If you've had a tough winter, we're coming out of hibernation. Look at nature. Nature's teaching us that. It's showing us that everything's starting to bloom, and it is a great time to get into activity. And there's the quantity of things on offer now to do are phenomenal. Whether it's yoga on the beach with a sauna afterwards, whether it's sea swimming, hill walking, doesn't really matter. It's a great time to start out and get fit. So then the typical principles apply, surround yourself with a group of people who do the same stuff that you want to do. Balance it out, so have the days off, nothing too much, and then track it, measure something about it, whether it's your strength or your fitness level or some element of it. Just measure something so that you can see progression, and that keeps you going then, not just for the summer, but for kind of the long term after that.
Perfect. And just with that tracking, is it notes on your phones or is it physical pen and paper? I like the idea of physical pen and paper, but I never bring it into the gym.
That's the problem. Yeah, so notes can work really well. Pen and paper is old school, but works really well. Beyond that, it can get kind of complicated because, from a food perspective, it's MyFitnessPal, which generally has numbers way too low in terms of calorie RDAs. And plus, I think it's kind of obsessive.
Yeah.
I think writing it down is easier. It's just more normal and less kind of hardcore, which I think is a good thing.
There's no Karl Henry spreadsheet hanging around somewhere.
No, there isn't.
Exercises.
No, if I track stuff like that, my swimming, so swimming is my big thing this year again. And what am I tracking? Strava. I use Strava obviously for that. So I track everything through that. My Garmin talks to Strava, and then the two of them, I just watch everything through there. Is there a spreadsheet? Not really. No, at this stage I know what I have to do. But I'll track it through Strava, and I'll have it like a monthly or a weekly total of say 25, 30K now from now on in.
Nice. So
I just work towards an overall goal, if you like. But it's a great time to start moving. The weather's good and people are motivated, and it's good.
Great. Question 3. I really like this one. It's I exercise regularly but haven't got the diet down yet. What should I do at the beginning regarding nutrition?
Okay, so the exercise piece is it's about a quarter of the jigsaw, which is great. The type of exercise that you do is important and the intensity of it's important. But from a health perspective, you can't out-train a bad diet. Everyone said that for you. It's really boring, but it's true. You can't. So what do you do? First things first, we talked about it there. You track your food just by writing it down. Forget about everything else for a minute. Just write it down on pen and paper and write it. Because chances are people know what to eat. Like we've said this for ages. Like, you know, people know what's good and bad. It's the tracking that gives you that accountability to write to yourself or to somebody else if you're sending it on. So writing it down is simple, and you know you'll self-regulate then in terms of what you think is healthy or unhealthy. Then you look at the meals across that. So like breakfast should be whole grain, whole meal, eggs, porridge, whole grain cereals, all the brown carbohydrates. Your snacks then, you know, nuts, fruit. Portion plate idea for lunch and dinner, or if it's a wrap, you go brown, protein and colour. So like, but chances are you'll know, people know that. And they get lost in Instagram because they've some influencer telling them to do whatever, which is nonsense. Like, it just complicates it and overcomplicates it. By writing it down on your own each week, you will automatically self-regulate and you'll automatically improve your food without having to really think about it. And then if you find that you're not getting the results that you want, then you go to like a dietitian or a PT who's qualified in nutrition to on a basic level to adjust it if you feel that that's needed. But writing it down is absolutely the way to go. And then you look at your hydration, you look at your fluid, but even your approach to it should be 80-20. So in your food diary, there should be a takeaway somewhere along the line. There should be chocolate. If there's not, we always get our clients to include them.
And would you start?
Sounds weird, but like,
would you start them both? Like, would you be like, okay, you need to really get your nutrition down as well as your exercise? Like, are they two starting at the same point, or would you focus on nutrition more at the start than exercise?
No, I would start with whatever is easiest for you. If you look at their demographic of people who listen in, it's trying to encourage them to pick what's the easiest thing to do. And for some people, that's walking or movement. For some people, that's cooking more in the kitchen. It depends on the person. It's all part of the jigsaw. So the jigsaw is like food, move, and sleep. They're the three big kind of components of wellness. And it's trying to find what one is accessible for you. Because once that one makes you feel better, you start going into the next one, the next one, the next one.
Yeah.
But food is crucial, and like all the noise around processed food and ultra processed food, it's exactly that. It's noise. It's influencers just spoofing. Like, we all eat ultra processed foods in some way, shape, or form. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it in moderation. It's absolutely fine. So balance your diet out and don't try and do the hardcore stuff or eliminate anything out, really. You need the balance and the moderation of it. And that's what gives you kind of long-term health goals.
And I'm interested just in the idea you spoke about, the intensity of exercise. What kind of intensity are we looking at?
Yeah, so like for most exercise, movement is low intensity and it's brilliant, but then you still got exercise, which is higher intensity. So heart rate zone 3 and above, which in real layman's terms is huffing and puffing. Like it's a funny term, but it's a really simple way to explain it. So that you're slightly out of breath when you're moving. So if you're walking, you and I go for a big walk and we're strolling down Talbot Street here and, you know, we're just chatting away, that's movement. But if you and I tried to make it to Houston in 25 minutes, which is the train, obviously to the train, that's exercise because you're flat out, you're sweating a little bit, you're not flat out, but you're sweating, you're kind of slightly out of breath. Someone rings you on the phone, you can chat to them, but you're slightly out of breath. That's what you're aiming for. That's the goal, if you like.
Do you have like, is there a number, like a beats per minute, or is that too technical?
It's zone 3. So zone 3 is normally kind of 140 to 155.
Okay.
Give or take.
Right.
Depending on how fit the person is. But it's around that 138, 140 to kind of 155-ish. Zone 4 is above that. And then zone 5 is maxed out, which a lot of people be 160, 170. For some, it could be higher. Rare, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, you normally look zone 3 is around that. It's around there in that kind of 140, give or take. But you'll find that syncs with the level of breathlessness.
And final question I'm really interested is, hi Karl, I don't want to get bulky, but I have heard that weights are great for toning, from Sarah. Yeah, so
it's interesting, right? The weights, there's less and less fear around this now, which is good, but it's still there, which is weights and for women and bulking up. It's very hard to do because women have less muscle mass and less testosterone to make muscle mass. So it is harder to do. Now, what I will say is that our bodies all react differently to weight training. Depending on your body type, it will react differently to certain types of weight training. So some bodies will react really well to heavy lifting, like power, like I call it Olympic lifting or sport lifting, where it's heavy weights, heavy workouts. And some bodies react really well, from a female perspective, react really well to that. Some bodies react really well to that and they will get very strong, but their shape will change, not in the way they had anticipated, which is they might get more sports-like as a physique, if you like. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So glutes a little bit bigger, hamstrings they just get a more sport-like physique, which is not always the reason that they go into it, which is why this listener is touching base. That body type needs higher reps, lighter weights, and that combination to work for them. But generally, it's very difficult to gain that kind of muscular physique for women. We need to lift weights to keep our bones strong, especially women, 70% of osteoporosis. So bone strength is crucial. To be firm and toned, and, it's like, it's all down to weight training and protein intake, really, and food, but like weight training and protein intake is what delivers it. So running won't deliver that on its own. Walking won't deliver that on its own. Weight training goes hand in hand, and it's never one obsessive over another. It's the combination of all of them together, which are really important.
Yeah, I think it's the fear of the sort of muscled shoulders, upper arms, like that kind of area.
It is, and like that,
where it is.
It is, and that comes down to how you're genetically going to react to exercise, and whether you need lighter weights with higher rep ranges. And this will, it's not that it's a controversial point. It's not. It's 25 years I've been around this is my livelihood. It's what I do. A lot of the new courses and new PTs that come out, they're sports performance courses, like they're Olympic lifting and heavy, and that's all great. If you want to be really strong, that's where you go. But actually, some body types women, they just don't want that physique, and that comes from that style, which doesn't suit everybody. So in terms of that, we always say, if you're going into a gym environment, have a look around you. So look at the physiques in the gym, because chances are that's the physique where chances are that, that you're going to kind of morph into.
Yeah.
So you look around the gym and you see or in the class that you're in, look at the physiques in the class, and that'll give you a decent enough sense of the type of results that come, but also the genetics then plays a huge role in that. We all react differently to different types of exercise depending how we're built. Even myself, like I might do, when I was doing my ultra marathons, I was probably 4 kilos lighter, a lot slighter than I am now. I have, from all the swimming, I have so much more muscle mass, which is quirky. I'm not used to having that as much muscle mass as I have now, and that's from how I react to the swimming. Not everybody reacts to swimming that way. But my physique and my genetic profiling means that's how I react. Yeah. So like we're all individual.
Yeah, you have a sort of everyone has that friend who like looks at weights and puts on muscle. Yeah. There's.
If I start lifting heavy, I bulk out quite quickly, and that's my family physique. We're all like that, and that's just look at your parents. They'll give you a really good guide of what your genetic profiling is. So like if we have a client comes in who's slight, that'll be the opening part of the conversation. What are your parents like? Oh, well, they're, my mom is same physique as I have. Like, okay, well, there you go. That's your physique. Because we're genetically profiled. So it is dependent, but either way, lifting weights is really important for your health, and people really need to do it.
And just lastly on this, you talked about like high repetition, low weight for this type of toning. Give us some sample set sizes.
So 12 to 15 reps. So it's not super high, but 12 to 15 is a sweet spot for a lot of people struggling with a weight on the last 2 reps. So you adjust the weight to the last 2 repetitions where you're starting to struggle a little bit. Okay. So if you do 15 bicep curls and there's no effort, that's not really doing anything. So you need to go up the weight. If you're doing bicep curls and you're struggling on like rep 5, then you start swinging and then everything goes out the window. Yeah. So the last 2 reps are kind of where it's at in terms of struggling.
And sets?
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
Yep. But the key thing is just lift some weights in some way, shape or form. It's so important for you,
Perfect. That's all our questions.
Amazing. Folks, keep them coming in on Instagram as always, or you can email us here at realhealth@independent.ie. As ever, we really hope you enjoyed today's episode. It's lovely to get time to talk through these questions. Social media doesn't give the space to do that. So keep your questions coming in. We'll keep popping these episodes up every kind of 4 or 6 weeks or so because people really like them. As ever, if you liked what you heard, don't forget to rate and review, and we'll see you next week for more Real Health. Slán go fóill.